You are not going to receive your manifestations if you are trying to force the outcome to actually happen. If you're trying to force the end goal to happen in the exact specific way, the how, the when, it's not going to happen. Hello, welcome back to another podcast episode of A Stronger You. My name is Jessica, your host, and welcome to this amazing season. We are diving into the universal laws and the science behind manifestation. Today, we are talking all about the law of detachment. This is a part 2. So if you did not listen to part 1, I will link it down below in the show notes. But I felt really called to record a part 2 of this law because I have realized how important this law is. And I feel like just making a part 2, answering your questions and just running my mouth about more examples will really be supportive. So in the Manifestation Academy, in my community, I asked you guys for your questions about the law of detachment. So I am going to be answering them in this. So before I go ahead and answer those questions, I want to tell you about 2 stories of how I stayed detached. So the first story I want to talk about is Jessica 5 years ago, not even 5 years ago, like since I got like graduated high school, I would say, which was like forever ago because I'm 31. But like since I graduated high school, I've always wanted to just have freedom, travel the world, make a lot of fucking money, make other people happy, make myself happy, see my family, make a lot of impact. That's all I really wanted. And as I got older, I went through college. I thought, oh, maybe I'll work in a hospital. I went to school for OT, worked in the hospital. I realized that wasn't it. But I always had this goal of just wanting full freedom, full flexibility, maybe having my own business and financial freedom. I stayed detached to the how. So, for example, if I focused on it, had to be going to school to become a lawyer that could work remotely, that would be me focused on the how. Like, if I thought that's the only way I could do it, that's me being attached to the how. When we're mastering the law of detachment, the 2 things we get to stay away from is the how and the when. That is not our decision. How something's going to manifest and when is not our decision. That's God's decision and the universe. What we get to focus on is getting so damn fucking clear on what we want and why we want it. So in the example of me wanting full freedom, I didn't know it was going to be me having my own podcast, me having my own coaching business, me hosting retreats all over the world, me teaching women how to launch and create their successful $1 million academies, their programs, their podcasts. I didn't know this is what it was going to be like. But now it's here. And it presented itself in a way that, shit, I had no idea this is how it was going to happen. There we go, the how. But it happened. That's story number 1. Story number 2 is a recent story. So recently I manifested a random check for $5,000. How do I want to tell you this story? So I've been calling in abundance and money. Like I call it in all the time, like all the time. And I stay detached on how it's going to happen. It doesn't just have to come in my business. It doesn't just have to come from work, right? Like if you are listening to this and you have a job or a career, it doesn't just have to come from that. And this didn't technically come from that. I made a $20 investment a couple years ago in something. I literally got an email 2 days ago saying, hey, your thing sold for $5,000. Okay, thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Since I've been calling in money in abundance, I'm staying detached from the how. Not that I could give a shit. I don't want to say I don't care how it's going to come, but it's just not my job to figure out how it's going to come. But it is my job to know what I want, why I want it, and create the opportunities for the money to flow in. because money is like, I want you to think of abundance and money as if it's a water stream, right? Water loves to move. The moment you put a rock in the water stream and it blocks the pathway, the water can't move in, the money can't move in. So we get to open up the streams. So what did I do in this situation? I opened up the stream for an investment, and it was a $20 investment, and I made $5,000. But here I am, I was detached from it. And so back in August, I put it up for the thing I bought, I put it up for sale for $5,000. I honestly forgot about it until 2 days ago, where I got this email saying, hey, your thing sold. But when I put it up for sale for $5,000, I put it up with an energy of detachment. I was like, if someone buys it, great. If not, great. Like, it is what it is. I wasn't like, oh, no one's going to buy it. And I didn't think, oh my God, I have to get this money because I have to pay rent. I have to buy a Louis Vuitton bag. Oh my gosh. No. It's like, I know it's going to happen. I trust God and the universe. They just think of them as like your great great grandparents. They just want you to trust them. That's all. I don't know if that was a good example. I'm like, think of God as your great great grandparent. I feel like that wasn't the best example. But do you know what I'm trying to say? They just want us to trust. They want us to simply trust. So with all that being said, how something's going to happen and when is not our job. So back to my first example, me wanting to manifest this full freedom, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I'm 31 years old. Finally, it's here. Shit, I thought it was going to happen back in my 20s. Hell, I thought I was going to be married and with babies right now. I'm 31 years old. I am single and I don't have any kids. The only child I have has 4 legs and her name is Jada and she's a pit bull. Okay. So when it's going to happen is not up to us. Yes, we can get clear on our goals, right? Like, okay, this is my goal to get this done by Q1 of 2025 or February 2025. Yes, that's my goal. But it's really not up to me, the when. But we get to hold ourselves accountable for certain things like that and make goals. You know what I'm trying to say? So getting clear on what we want and why we want it. What do you want $1 million? Why? Because I want to hire a private chef for myself. I want to hire a private chef for my parents so that they don't ever have to worry about cooking. I want to own a home in Florida. I want to own a home in New York. I want to own a home in Colorado because I want to have these homes for my family to live in, to build generational wealth for my future grandchildren. Oh, just got the chills. Future grandchildren. Me? I mean, I'm at my grandparents' house right now, so it's like kind of crazy. By the way, I asked my grandpa to film a podcast with me because my grandpa has some great wisdom. He's like, how old is he? He's in his late 80s. But he said no. And I was so upset. I was like, even my grandma was like, come on, it's your granddaughter asking. I'm like, why do you not want to? Like, people would love to hear his wisdom, but I guess he just likes to keep things private. Anyway, I have a couple of questions that came in from the Manifestation Academy that I want to answer. So one of the girls, by the way, if you are not inside the Manifestation Academy, it is my group coaching course where you get my exact viral manifestation blueprint. If y'all listen to the first Law of Detachment episode, I talked about the viral manifestation blueprint. That's not technically available. What's available now is the academy that has the blueprint inside, plus over 15 EFT tapping scripts, all my visualization techniques. Breathwork is coming this month. Girls, guys, we go live every single week on Zoom. I just got off of a Zoom call. That's why I have so much energy right now, because I received that energy from everyone on the call. And you have access to me daily. So link is in the description if you want it. Anyway, someone said, my struggle is when I think of my hubby, my SP, my person that I want, I have one man's image that instantly pops up in my mind. Even when I'm doing my affirmations in the mirror that pertain to love, and when I'm doing my visualizations, his face pops up. I'm really trying to detach from it. I am slowly getting better, but man, it's hard. So the key here is to not force detachment, but to just gently shift your focus. So we never want to force ourselves being detached. It's recognizing that we might be a little attached because his face keeps popping up, can't stop thinking about him. But now we're going to just gently, simply shift your focus. So instead of resisting the image of this man while you are doing XYZ, when his face pops up, you can say to yourself something like, this is just my mind bringing familiarity, but I'm open to love in its highest form. So you're visualizing maybe his beautiful, hot, sexy ass body face comes up. It's like thinking in your mind, okay, this is just my mind bringing up familiarity, because our mind likes to keep us safe, likes to think of familiarity, keep us in the familiar. But subconscious mind, I am open to love in its highest form. So really trying to focus on the feeling of the love you want is also really going to help you. Instead of thinking of the specific person, and I know sometimes the image just pops up like without realizing it, but instead I want you to shift your focus when you're visualizing and when you are doing your mirror work of love, the feeling of the love you want, okay? The feeling of the love you want. So something that I want to share with you is I want to challenge you to, if this pertains to you, I want to challenge you to watch a love movie. So I actually recently watched this movie on Netflix. I'm literally going to pull it up right now. And as I'm pulling it up, I want to tell
Stand
you,
up. Let me see your.
sorry, I want to tell you a little bit about it. So in this movie, wait, now I like really need to find the name of it. Okay, it's called Lonely Planet. So if you have Netflix, I want to invite you to watch this movie, The Lonely Planet. It is with Liam Hemsworth. Oh, he's so hot. But basically, it kind of ties into a love movie-ish at the end. And and you don't have to watch this movie, but watch any type of love movie and notice the feelings that come up in your body. Like those real love movies that are like picture perfect, that like people say love only exists in movies. No, love is real. It's just rare. Watch a love movie, see what comes up in your body and anchor that in. Take some deep breaths. Tap into that feeling that comes up. And when you do your visualizations and your affirmations, tap into that feeling. Because if you've never felt it before, or you felt it with someone else in the past, but you want to feel it differently, this is going to support you, because now it's a feeling that you are creating inside your own body for yourself. Okay, the next question I want to answer is, someone said, I struggle with detaching from the past and regretting it. Kind of like, what if this happened in the past? What if that actually happened? I feel like I make progress, but it still comes back. I want to let go, but it's always there lurking. How do I detach from these thoughts once and for all? Okay, great question. First of all, knowing that struggling with detachment doesn't mean you're failing is important. Just because you're struggling with detachment doesn't mean you're failing. It actually just means you're human. That is normal. But we get to switch because we are aware of these universal laws. Now we get to change. Because our minds are designed to revisit the past as a way to keep us safe because it's familiar. That's the language of the subconscious. It goes back to what's keeping us safe. Unfamiliar, change is unsafe, okay? So let's start by, we're going to stop fighting those thoughts. So instead of detaching once and for all, because that's going to create pressure, the key here is allowing these thoughts to come and just choose how you respond. So instead of saying, like, oh, here's the thought again, you get to think, this is just my mind trying to keep me safe, but I no longer need this story. I no longer identify with this story. This story is no longer mine. That is just my mind trying to keep me safe, because I know that everything happens for a reason, and what is going to happen in the future is what I'm looking forward to. Because what didn't happen for a very damn well reason. Maybe the reason why it didn't happen was because you had other plans, like to go manifest a trip to Greece in your life. And asking yourself things like if this resonates with you, if you think about the past, you're like, oh, what if? Ask yourself these questions instead. What did this experience teach me? How did it shape me into the person I am today? What's the lesson I can take from this? This is going to be you shifting from that regret to gratitude. Because right now it kind of sounds like you're more in that regret energy. And we're going to shift into the gratitude. What is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? What is helping me move forward with this? So we're going to stop identifying with the past, and we're going to start moving forward with growth. And last but not least, regulating your nervous system will also be hella supportive, because sometimes it's not just the thought, it's an emotional imprint in your body. So if a past memory triggers like a really strong emotional reaction, it means your body is still holding on to that. How do we let that go? Through breath work, through EFT tapping, through visualization. Visualize seeing yourself cutting those energetic cords, washing that energy away, cutting the cords and releasing it, releasing those stored emotions and releasing it with love. Law of Detachment Part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know if you have any other questions or what your biggest takeaways are from this. At the end of the day, like I mentioned in the beginning, we just need to know what we want and why we want it. How something's going to manifest, how it's going to pan out isn't up to us. We get to trust. We get to take the action steps. We get to listen to the signs that we're receiving from God and the universe and take action based off of that. I love you. And also I wanted to say thank you for your patience, because I do know I uploaded a day late. It is that time of the month for me. I had lots of cramps. I didn't want to pour from an empty cup, so I waited a day. That was my executive decision, so I can pour from a full cup. I love you, and I'll see you next Wednesday on a next episode of A Stronger You. Bye.